Hello, crime scene unit. It's been a long time since I've filmed inadvertently, but I wanted to jump on today and show you guys some of what I've been working on because I have been working on things and I wanted to share with y'all. So yes, welcome to my returners. Thank you for holding on and being a part of the show for so long, and welcome to anyone who is new. If you've not been here before, my name is Heather. I'm the crime scene knitter. Previously, my show used to include crime scene stories as well as crafting stories. So my knitting, my crocheting, diamond painting, various crafting, glue gun use, hot glue gun use, and then stories from my work as a crime scene investigator. And now things are a little bit different with how I sort of produce my own show. So before I show you guys my crafty business, I wanted to talk a little bit about housekeeping. I think every now and again we need to do housekeeping so that y'all kind of know where the channel's going. I think it's a little dark. It's a little bright. It's a little washed out. Okay. It'll be fine. So what I've been thinking about doing is this. Because I am not super wanting to share crime scene stuff anymore because I do not find joy in that anymore. I used to want to try to educate people about things and safety, and you know what, there's a lot of curiosity about true crime. I just find that I don't want that to bleed so much into my personal life because that's my professional life, that's what I live, and it's not really, it's only commodifiable, I guess, if that's a word, up to a point, and I don't feel like making those stories and making that part of my life a product anymore that I put on the show. So I don't do crime scene stories anymore. I just do crafting, but I'm still the crime scene knitter. So that's going to be what the show is about. I'm just going to be a random person on the internet showing you all my crafts. The other big change that I've made and have sort of been committing to over these past few weeks is that when I started this show, like almost 5 years ago, I think maybe it has been 5 years, my God, I did so with the intention of feeding the algorithm and growing a following and posting with a schedule, posting frequently, trying to get my numbers up, trying to, you know, get possibly paid promotion and do the influencer thing, have my channel be monetized on YouTube so that I could bring in a little bit of revenue from all of this. And in the 5 years or so that I've been doing this, I have had exactly zero success with any of that. So now I am just going to show up when I feel like. So in terms of housekeeping, in terms of what that means for the show, I've decided that there is no schedule anymore. I was trying to do an upload every Wednesday. I just do not have the desire within my soul to do weekly videos anymore. Because I am sort of moving away from trying to make something in essence of this podcast and making it a product. The speed, the frequency at which I was trying to make content no longer serves me, and it no longer works for me. So yeah, this is going to be, we're taking a further step back to be even more informal than we already were. And y'all, if you've been here, you know we are already quite informal as it is. So yeah, I'm going to post when I have stuff to post about. So yeah, I've gotten to a point where my brain just rejects any kind of commitment, any kind of schedule. I just cannot force myself to do it anymore. And I'd like to start taking some of my own advice, because I have given you guys a lot of advice about being gentle with yourselves as crafters and not treating yourselves as a production facility or trying to compete with Amazon in terms of like gifts for people and your own productivity and crafting and trying to make and just outpace yourself all the time. So I've been stepping back a lot in terms of my own crafting and going at a gentler pace. And I've really found that fulfilling. So that is kind of what's going on for the show. So in terms of going forward, there's no more schedule. I will put up videos when I've got something to make a video about. The other thing is that I am going to try to cut down on how much editing I have to do, because I really don't enjoy to edit either. And because I do not have a staff, and I also have a full-time job that is not this, minimizing the amount of time I have to spend in front of a computer and the thought that I have to put into this podcast is going to serve me and be healthier for me. And there's a perspective I have to this I think is maybe fun and good, because there are many wonderful podcasts that are organized, that do have a schedule, that are sort of commodified. And that is not wrong. That is not bad. I love those shows. That makes up the majority of what I watch as a viewer on YouTube most of the time. I see that there are, not to say there are less channels that are more laid back, but I just saw myself in competition with those really highly organized shows that, in all honesty, probably had staff to help support the work that was being done in one way or another. Maybe family members for staff. But because I'm not competing with them anymore, I just think that I can contrast them as opposed to competing with those other shows and be a little less commodified. I know there's a better word for that, but that's what I'm coming up with. So yeah, that's it. Those are my thoughts. I've really been thinking a lot about consumption, as we all, I think I've used the word commodify like 17 times. Take a drink every time you hear me say. But I've been thinking about that a lot, because the nature of our craft on social media, as it relates to social media, seems to have become a lot about acquiring products and acquiring stash and tools and things to make with. And I have gotten to the point where I am a little overwhelmed almost by all the advertising and all the product that's being put in my face, which is yarn and things that I love. But I just feel kind of like, a little anxiety, because in that sort of bombardment with commercials, essentially, I look around at my own craft room and find that it is really stuffed and stocked well with yarn and with project bags and the tools and all the, I've got the fun stitch markers and things. So I think that I will really kind of embrace this phase that I'm in right now of wanting to not be polished, not be edited, not be sponsored by anybody, not that I ever was. I was not. But not be trying to commercialize so much. This is just gonna be a woman on the internet talking to an empty wall in her craft room, making shit. So that's what the channel is going to focus on. Every now and again, I have a deep thought, like the one I just shared with y'all about what I think about the podcast and where it's going, and being tired with a lot of, I want to say that commodifization is a word, but I know it isn't. Commercialization, I guess. I just kind of recoiling from that a little bit. Just from my own fatigue, not from any kind of a judgment. I understand that most of the people that I follow on Instagram and follow on YouTube are people with small businesses, and to make a small business work, you gotta hustle real hard, and they do. And so I am just speaking from my own personal feelings and not from a place of judgment for people who post nothing but, you know, their yarn and trying to sell things and trying to get more followers and all of that stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. I wanted that for a really long time. And I'll be honest with you, if that fell into my lap, now, I don't think it will, but if it did, I would be pleased. So, yeah, all of that to say that this is a judgment-free zone. This is a non-commercial zone. I'm going to be a little bit more mindful with how and why I share what kind of products I have, what I've purchased, just because I've become kind of sensitive to that. So, yes, and in the spirit of that, I'm going to show you guys what I have been working on. I have been working very diligently on making socks because socks are a really portable project, and I don't have anything that's kind of like popcorn knitting. I like to have a popcorn knitting project with me to go in my purse for all of the time, every time I go somewhere. And so I don't have anything but socks right now. So I made a couple pair and I wanted to share them with you. Look at this behemoth of a sock. This, I'm gonna put it on a sock blocker to show you guys. Ugh, let me see here. Ooh. Okay, ignore the old lady sounds. I'm 30. I feel age coming for me. Not really. But I do make sounds now when I get up out of chairs or when I sit down back in them. And I didn't used to do that when I was 20, and I don't know where it came from. It's just something that happened to me. So here's the socks I've made for Christmas for my husband. He likes a really, really tall cuff, which is why they're so long. And he's also got super duper giant Sasquatch feet. So that also adds. The wool that I used is called Signature 4-ply West Yorkshire Spinners. Perfect for socks, allegedly, which it is. I just now looked at the color. It's blue tit. So that's funny. So these are the blue tit socks. They're really, really beautiful. They are. So there's that. I made that pair for husband for Christmas. And I was so early about it because I am showing them to you pre-Thanksgiving even. I was very good this year. I had time to start a pair for myself. And so I used restashed yarn. This is from my friend's stash. She is a, what's the word? A neutral color only kind of girl. So I took this off of her because she asked me to, and she doesn't wear colors like this. But I made myself a pair of socks. I also made a really long cuff with some stash yarn to make kind of a little frill, I guess. And then I made extra thick heel. This is like worsted weight yarn, and this is sock weight, so this is very, very heavy duty. And I lost the ball band, so I can't share with you who this yarn is by, but it's really, really fun and beautiful. It feels nice. I enjoyed making these a lot. I brought these into work with me. These were my, I guess, my anxiety projects I was working on so that I didn't just implode at my desk from time to time. So those are done. So yay, FOs. I also have a failed whip to share with you guys. I had been working with this Bernat blanket yarn here. Some of y'all will recognize, trying to make a hooded scarf. The yarn wasn't super correct for that type of project. I could not make any leeway. I've been working on it for months and months and months, and I finally just decided I'm done, dead on arrival. I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna make like a plushie with this. I think I would like to make for myself a plushie Bigfoot, Sasquatch, something, because I think that would be kind of fun. It's like party Sasquatch. But this is gonna go back back into the stash, and I will find a use for it some other time, and that is okay. So that's one less whip in the pile, which does kind of like make me feel a little less manic, which is great. I really firmly believe that if a project is just not happening, there's no shame in taking it down, taking it out, frogging it, because life is short, and my brain, the way I work, I'm always going to be moving ahead and starting more projects and finishing things that do speak to me. So it really does not serve me to hold onto a project that I just have no interest in doing forever and ever and ever. So I did cast on something new. I say that, I think I shared this cast on with you guys forever ago when I last made a video. And I have made not that much progress, but I've made a little bit, like visible progress. So I am going to show you. So it's just the neckline of a sweater. This yarn is really, really soft and lovely, and I so enjoy feeling it as I work. But this is going to be Joji Locatelli's Instant Crush. And in lieu of doing 2 strands of mohair held double throughout the entire thing, this is, I think this is like a fingering, like maybe a heavier fingering weight. And this is held double. And then I have mohair, 3 colors of mohair, really, really beautiful, that I have stashed and been holding on to for a while. And I'm going to hold that with this. I did a test swatch. I may have showed you guys the test swatch also. I don't remember. But that is going to be a really subtle contrast. And, oh God, my hair just looks crazy today. I don't know why. So that contrast is going to be really subtle, and it's not going to be all mohair. There's going to be some substance to it. So I'm really excited and curious to see how this works up. We are traveling, husband and I, soon-ish. So I am trying to prep this to be a plain project. I have wooden needles so that, God willing, I will not be harassed by security or anybody who doesn't want me to have small little spears on the plane. So that is working. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to do some sweater knitting because finally we have some nice sweater weather out here in Texas. Been waiting all year for that, all year. So it's finally here. Now the last thing I have to show you guys today is my Secret Forest mystery knit along. Not a mystery anymore because the deadline is up. Everybody else, it seems, has finished except for me, because like I said, I have a full-time employment that is not this, much to my dismay, and so I have been slowed down. The other thing is that I have been making a ton of mistakes, and I have had to rip back and sort of teach myself things and learn. And when I tell y'all that this project has just pushed me to my limit, just spiritually, mentally, emotionally, I'm proud of myself for getting this far on this thing, but holy macaroni, I would really hesitate to do this again. So let me grab, so it's gonna look a little wonky because of the way it's on the needles right now. So here's clue 1 through 3. Y'all have seen this before. I've showed this before. This is clues 4 and 5 right now. And I recognize that it looks crazy and you can't really see what's going on, what's happening with it. But this is the lace chart I'm working on, the pink at the top. It is the honeybees. When I tell y'all that I was cursing like a fucking sailor the other day trying to figure these little shits out, no hate to the author of this pattern. It's beautiful. It's stunning. It's a work of art. I was so angry because I could not figure out any of this. Thankfully, the author of the pattern made a video, a YouTube video about how to do this, and I needed it real bad. And I was just in a bad mood the whole time because I was like angry at the bees for being so difficult. But I figured it out. As you can see, they're there. They look like bees. It's actually a really cool lace pattern, which I hate to admit because I just struggled with it so much, but it's really, really awesome. So definitely worth the pain and the misery. And I am stitching these 2 halves together. So this is the seam and it's going to work up. And so this half is going to fully incorporate this half, and it's going to become one rectangle. How I am going to find enough room to block this, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. I am not looking forward to that because I suspect I'm going to have to take up the guest bedroom. Like, I'm going to have to take up the whole guest bedroom with this. So yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It is. And I'm really just overwhelmed at the magnitude of this work. It's so much. It's been so hard. I really do feel like I've been in the woods, lost, having my ass handed to me, because every lace chart that I do with this pattern is more complicated than the last. And I think to myself, surely I will not suffer the next clue. And then, like, I haven't even read the pattern ahead. So there's 2 lace charts in this clue. There's the bees, which really stretched me uncomfortably as a human person. And then we've got frogs. Now, I'm either going to love the frogs or I'm going to hate them, because my next color is this. Well, not this one specifically, but I've got, here it is. Okay, so, oh, sorry, that's really bright. So this is going to be the color that the frogs are in, this. So they're going to be just violently magenta, like just criminally magenta. This and this are the colors for the frogs. Like, I can kind of see paint, like this light lacy sort of pink is a honeybee color. Like, oh, okay, this gentle, honeybees are gentle, they like flowers, whatever. The only frogs I've seen that come close to this color are in the rainforest, and that's maybe it's a rainforest. I don't know. Maybe that's the kind of forest we're in. I couldn't tell ya. It'll look. Like I said, I feel like this is either going to really pop and stand out and look cool, or it's going to be like, why are your frogs pink? There are no pink frogs, except now there are. They're going to be pink frogs. So that's where I'm headed next. That is, oops, just knocking my stuff all over the place. That's it. So that's what I'm working on right now. I am slowly kind of addressing my whips pile. Whenever I sort of get in the mood to finish something and feel accomplished in that, I will dig out one of my whips and either decide to finish it right then or frog it. So there probably will be a lot of frogging going on in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, the last thing I wanted to share with you guys is what I'm wearing. This is a hand knit sweater, but not by me. I rescued this from a thrift store. It is a cat in a pumpkin, and it's got little pumpkins along the bottom. And I don't know fiber content, but I'm going to guess that this is a cotton blend. It feels really cottony. It's super cute, and it looks very nice with my hair. I got my hair did. So, yeah, I love hand knits, even if they're not mine. So yeah, that's it. I hope everybody's having a lovely day. I hope that my show continues to be a source of inspiration and at least a little bit of entertainment. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Okay, bye!